Hi, hello guys. How's everything going? Today I'm going to talk about curves and surfaces. This is actually really unique function in Rhino. It's really powerful. You cannot do this in 3D Max, Vectorworks, or SketchUp. Okay, it's I think it's the best part of Rhino. Before we do that, I just want to show you another tools about hiding and locking. For example, if this is a surface, right, it can be anything like curves, points. If this is surface and here there's a button called hide objects, right? It's like bulb. You just click this, then it's hidden, right? But if you want to show, you just click this show objects again, then all the objects that has been hidden will show. Okay, and similar with lock. When you click lock objects, then it's locked. But if you want to unlock it, you click unlock, then you just unlock. By the way, all these tool sets, this up here and this up here is default offset. Okay, tool set. If you using Mac, or you can definitely find this tool in somewhere in your default interface. Okay, if you cannot find the tools, any question, just ask me. Okay, or you can always Google and search how to find these tools, things like that. Okay, the other way to find tools is just type. You see here, hide, like lock, right? So you can always find the tools on command line also. So in landscape architecture, we create a lot of service. Okay, land, right? We work with the land. For example, we usually don't do like create service like this. Okay, just like architecture or just geometries, right? We usually draw lands, right? For example, this can be a piece of long area, right? Like grasslands or something like that, right? Like Clemson Bowman Field, or there can be roads, right? Trails, things like that around it. So we usually draw lines, and then we try to turn this line to surface. Okay, so we can play and work with it. So that's why when you look at a lot of projects, right? See here, these all lines, and but then they turn it to different sort of slopes, hills, right? That's basically what we created, right? Depressions, hills, slopes, ponds, cut and fill, things like that, right? So that's what we do, and it's really easy in Rhino actually. For example, like this right now, this curve are flat, right? You can just turn the points, and you can change the curve. You can move this up. Then you become actually changed. It can become like kind of a sloped area, right? See here, it's getting lower on this side, and this side getting higher, right? And then once you have this curve, you wanna add surface. Turn this to a surface. Then what you can do is use this patch tool. Here, patch. Once you click it, you can preview. Then you have a surface down here. Okay, and you will see the surface is just really smoothly connected. Okay, they have a really good algorithm to help you like fill the space between this line to a surface. Okay, and you can always change how many lines you want. See here. Then you click preview. There's more lines down here. Okay. When you click OK, once you click OK, you can turn the points again. Right. Just click this surface and turn the points again. Then you can change this surface. Like see this point, I can create a little bit up area, small hill area on this surface. Okay. So it's really easy to do adjustments. See here, everything can be changed. That's what you want. Okay, and it's controlled. You can move, right? So that's one tool. It's called a patch. Okay, just remember anything, any curves, the space between curves. I just click patch, click the curve, right, and they will feel the curve, the space between the curve. Okay, that's what it was. The other thing is, what we do a lot is a lot of this kind of scenario. Okay, we draw one curve, right, and then we draw another curve, and what's these curves a little bit higher, and what's in between is some hills, slopes, right? It's like planters or an area to lean, like grass or white flowers you can lean on, right? Or separate the land, define the space, things like that, right? So you just need to draw a section kind of area down here. See here? Make sure you turn the snap tool and snap. See here? You can snap them, and then turn on the points. You can actually modify the section. So see here, I want this side to be higher, right, and this side to be lower, right? So then you just use this sweep to rail tool. When you click it, you select the first rail, second rail, and then select this, what they call cross section curves. Click that and right click. See here, then create a really nice smooth just hills, right? This is how they do hills. You see this a lot in real projects. Okay, it's just so commonly used, and this is how like people carve the lands, okay, shape the land. So then you can always you can click preview, right, and click OK. You can do that as much as you want. And curves again, like this curve up here, you can just patch it. Then you have curves like that, right? Actually, you have some shapes like this, right? You can open up this preview, then you know what's the shape of it, right? Alright, so that's this. What we do, the other thing what we can do is, for example, I have this line here, I have another line here, and this I go up a little bit. Okay, so also you can use this loft tool. You select the first curve and then select the second curve and right click, and then there was something showing up, and right click, then you have, you create this kind of similar thing, but it's just automatically created. Okay, I think two rail works really well. If loft doesn't work well, just draw a section and do this. Alright, pretty cool. Let me see. The other thing is about service is, for example, this service. See here, there's a lot of, when you click the points, there's a lot of points in this service, right? You can actually, like curves, you can actually change that, make it simple. For example, you can just go to here. There is one called rebuild service. When you click it, see here, you can actually make the service looks more simple. Okay, so the service change to this shape. Okay, and when you open the points, there are less points, easier to modify. Okay, things like that, easier to modify. Okay, alright, so just try different options and be familiar with it. Alright, and And also the other thing we do a lot is we draw curves again, no matter what kind of curve, right? You can actually, it's just like SketchUp. You can use this extrude curve. Actually, it's this one, extrude curve. You can just create surface like this. Okay, it's just like SketchUp. Click this and click this tool, extrude straight. Just go up here, so you can do whatever you want. Just like that. All right. And then the other cool part about I want you to know is once you select this service, right? It's a service, right? And you can actually create curves from service. For example, this service, right? How I get the edge of this line? I don't want to trace it, right? This edge, right? You can just click this service, and then you just click. You see here, curve from object toolset. Then you have this one called duplicate border. Once you click that, right, you select the objects and you click that, then you can see they already created curves for you, okay, which is all the edge of the lines, okay. And all you can do is really easy. See here, it has 4 segments, right? When you click 4 segments, then you just click this explode. Then you just turn to single part. Every single part. So explode will explode all the curves, because this is made by 4 different curves, right? And you want all these 4 curves a single one. You just click this one, join, and then they turn to a single one. All right. Let me try and see here. This is one line, and this is the other line, right? I click this, is this, right? I select all of them, I join them, then they turn to single one, okay? Just one, right? But if I click them again and click explode, then explode it, right? So these are all the things to remember, okay? But really, there's a lot of tools here. You don't have to know every tool, okay? Just the tool I mentioned. I think there's several, right? The other thing is, when we do a project, we usually have this kind of let me hide this service for now. We have this kind of base map, right? What if I would like to trace it, right? It's usually we start with the top view, right? And make sure you change the view to this render mode, right? Render the viewpoints so you can see the texture, the image, right? So you can just, usually what we do, we just trace it, we just draw lines on it, make sure you don't open the snap tool. So we just draw points. For example, this row, I just trace it. It's so fast in Rhino to trace the things you want to do, okay? The other issue is usually if you draw the line and you see that because it's under the surface. So if you move the surface down in this view, then you will see the curve you draw, okay? So this is one curve I draw. For example, I want to draw the other one. You can just, for example, I want to draw this house. Just click the curve, click on this multi-line. I guess it works better. Just click. So that's how we draw plan. It's really fast. Okay. You can do, for example, this is a rectangle. We just draw it, right? So really fast, really effective, okay, to me. And if I want to like offset these roads, right? We talked about offset before. Just click this offset curve tool, right? So for example, I want it to be like 50. Then it turns 50. So I have 2 lines to define a road, right? And if I want to create a terrace, like a grass area, Usually that's what we draw on plan view, right? But it make sure, but this is not model yet, right? This is just a single plan. And or if I wanna in this area create another highland area, right? So what we do on here is usually we do this. Once we draw the lines we want, see here, when we go to 3D view, let's change to this, right? This is just totally flat, okay? All these lines are just totally flat. But this is really cool way we can do, which is, let me see, let me check. Okay, there's a really cool way we can do is, alright, so what we can do here is use this project curves tool. This is really powerful, okay? You click it, you first select all the curves, okay, and then you click it, you select all the curves, and then they will, they will let you know what you need to do, every step, okay, all the procedures. You just do what they want you to do. Select curves and point to project, okay. These are the curves and curves or points I want to project. And then you right click or press enter, and then they want to select service. So then you just select the service. But right now my service hide it, okay. This is a mesh, okay. You make sure you select service. So this is the service, actually it's down here, okay. So we have to do it again to make it more clear. Let's drag it up, okay, cool. So it's up here on the service. Actually, you know what, I want to, maybe I can change the color of this service. Yeah, so this turned to blue. We'll talk about these layers, colors, textures later. Click this project to service tool and select all the curves and right click or enter, and then select the service and right click and enter. And within a minute you will find out all these curves on the service, okay, on your land. Then you can just delete these curves, okay. See here, it's on your land, perfectly lined up, okay. So then what you do is you can actually easily, so this is still curves, right? Remember, we can, we can change that, right? We can like turn it to a small house, right? Turn this to small house, right? That's what we do, right? Or, so once the curve is on the surface, if you go to top view, see here, this is top view, right? So you can actually, then there's actually a really cool tool. It's called, like curves, we talk about split and trim, right? But you can trim and split with surface, okay. For example, if you click this split object to split, select objects to split, just select the surface first and right click, and remember the cutting object is your curve, okay. I select this curve, I right click again, you will something happen, okay. You will see this surface cut it to two pieces, okay. You can drag as much as you want, whatever you want, right? So pretty cool. And you can even like delete this one, okay. By the way, let me just lock the bottom surface so don't bother me. See here, this was a curve, right? What we did for the curve, right? And what we do, and this is the other curve, right? And I can raise it up a little bit, right? Once I raise it up, I can just, I can just draw lines to here. Just make sure it's on this curve. Okay, it was. And then we just did that before, right? We can do a 2-rail sweep. See here, sweep 2-rail. Select the first one, then you select the second one, and select the cross section, and right click. Then they got created some grass lawn area, right, with some slopes you want, right? And definitely here, this is the top, we just patch that, click OK. Then you create things, right? And here, right, I can just add the points and select the points and modify, right? It's so easy, you can do whatever you want, okay? And the same thing with this service, right? You can even like draw shapes on it. For example, I just draw a square. I think the square is somewhere, yeah, it become here, right? Just drag it up. See here, this is that square, right? What we can do, you just click split, select the surface, and right click and select this rectangle curve, and right click. See here, and then they will cut this, right? Do stuff on here also. All right, pretty cool. It's really flexible to me. All right. And the other thing is sections. All right, because we do a lot of sections, and it's really easy to create sections from Rhino. All right. What you need to remember is this. See here, this contour tool. Okay. What it was is, you just select this surface and you right click, and they will, by the way, you have to go to the top tool, and then you just draw a line, and they will draw the section perpendicular to the line you draw. For example, if I draw this line, I right click, then you see here, they're actually drawing a lot of sections right now here. So you can draw hundreds of sections easily. Let me do it again. I select this contour tool. I select objects for contour. I right click. Actually, you do it here first, and you select contour. Right click, just draw, and then they want you to enter the distance. This time we want bigger. For example, I want 200. Then they will draw sections easily for you. Okay. You can select all this, and by the way, if you select them, you press shift, then you select actually contour, then you can deselect. Okay, so we can deselect all the surface, things like that. So we just have also the roads, and then we just, so this all the section lines. Okay, you can see them. So this is one section, right? This is one section, this is another section. So you can use this section easily and do projects, things like that. Okay, that's how, see here, so when you see like drawings like this, right, they have a bunch of sections, right? So many sections through the whole length. So that's how they do it. They do it in Rhino, and they cut all these sections and go to Photoshop, Illustrator to add trees, roads or waters down here. Okay, it's really fast. Every single drawing is simple, but when you gather them together, it's gonna be a beautiful board. Okay, so that's this. And also you can create, for example, this is a service, right? You can use the contour line to create a contour for sure. For example, you just select the contour, right? Make sure we go to front view, and make sure we select this surface, and click the contour tool, and you draw vertical lines, and then you want to change the distance between contour. For example, we can make 20. Then they will draw lines. See here. So on this surface, we got See here, these are different contour lines. All right. See, these are all the contour lines. Okay, they will automatically generate for you. Okay, so you don't have to like trace contour lines or draw contour lines by yourself. Okay, Rhino just did that for you automatically. All right. So I think that's it for today. We cover a lot of stuff, but I strongly suggest you try this by yourself because it's kind of really useful. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.